Welcome, Curly Fam. This week we are going to talk about ingredients and do a little bit of randomness. So let's jump right in. I am recording outside this week because it's such a beautiful day. I just took my twists out in this little clip so you can see how you can see through them. Here's a perfect example of why you need to go through and finger rake your curls to make sure it all comes out even. Don't just untwist your nighttime twist and jump into life. Here I'm showing you my cloth and paper planner that's falling apart. I gotta get a new one. Miss Trenchcoat has a really cute one that I like. I gotta go find it. But yeah, I'm gonna get to better lighting here in just a second. Okay, this week we are talking ingredients. You know, there are several videos out here about DIYs with how to use fenugreek, how I use my aloe vera leaf, my aloe vera juice, the various powders and essential oils that I put in the oil. So today we are going to talk about the benefits of all of those ingredients. So I have my notes here, pardon the referral or me, looking down. And I'll put quick, little blurbs up on the screen. But basically, when you are doing the holistic, naturalistic approach to your hair growth, you really want to figure out what works for you, what works for your strands. And this is, we are at the beginning of 2021. I went natural in June of 2018. So what is that, 2.5 years in, and I've played around. I've used banana powder, but I've since pushed it out of my routine because I wasn't really seeing a benefit of it. I've used honey in the past. I don't have honey in the routine right now. Now what I will say is I'm not a chemist, I'm not a mixologist, I'm not any of those things. So you want to be sure that if you put something on your hair and you don't like the way it looks or it's not reacting properly, stop using it, because I don't want to cause any breakage. But the things that I'm going to talk about today are things that have worked for me in my 2.5 year natural hair journey. So here we go. All right, so henna is probably my fave. Now, henna is a natural ingredient. It's used a lot in Indian, the henna, like the body art, those kinds of things. So I use the henna in my oil. I use a henna gloss every week, and I do a henna mask once every few weeks. Now, henna is a protein treatment. It's also a dyeing agent. So if you want to use henna, a couple recommendations. One, you want to get high quality henna. So I will link the place I get mine from. It's called Rarity Henna. I got this little tip from Curly Proverbs. So you don't want body art. Well, you do want body art quality henna. You want to make sure your henna is greenish in tint. If you get henna and it shows up black or red or some other color, it's probably not the most pure. So be very careful. I like Rarity Henna. I've only ever ordered my henna from there, and that's because Curly Proverbs recommended it. I know she now has a line too, so maybe try hers. But henna, so the things you want to know about it is it's a protein treatment, so it is a strengthening treatment. So don't use henna the same week you use a mask or any other protein treatments, because it'll probably be an overload for your hair, and I don't want you to break it off. It's also a dyeing agent, so if you are concerned about dyeing your hair or changing the color of your hair, I wouldn't recommend henna, because it's very strong in that regard. And if in this light, you might actually be able to see some of my strands are brown. And that's because the henna has attached to them, and instead of them being black or gray, quite honestly, they're this very beautiful copper color. Now, I think it's beautiful, but if you're not going for that, then be aware that henna will do that to your hair. If you want the strengthening properties of a henna, but not the color agent, try cassia. I've never used cassia, but it's a slightly weaker version of henna from a dye perspective. Okay, so that's the henna piece of it. Now, fenugreek. Fenugreek seeds are one of my favorite. Now, fenugreek is also an Indian, it's native to India. Now, the fenugreek, the benefits, let's start with the benefits. Probably under the hair care tab. How about we go to hair care and start there? There we go. So fenugreek also has high protein content. Now, you've seen me and how I use mine. I soak them in my aloe vera juice. I then mash the fenugreek seeds up and put them in the henna gloss. And then I use the aloe vera juice. I pour it off of the fenugreek the fenugreek seeds and spray that and use that as every night a spray in, and in the morning a refresher. It also has a high protein content, so if your hair is protein sensitive, I wouldn't recommend using henna and fenugreek in the same layout. It's high in folic acid, which really does help your hair growth. And it's also high in vitamins A, K, and C. So vitamin K will help regeneration with your strands. Vitamin A encourages hair growth if you apply it to the scalp. And vitamin C has collagen, which is a part of your hair structure. Again, not a chemist, but I do know that collagen is a part of your hair, and if you can strengthen it, you definitely want to. Now, on to my aloe vera leaf. Now, I use both aloe vera juice and an aloe vera leaf. The leaf is clearly in its most natural form. I will skin the leaf, gut it out, use it in my pre-poo. Now, a lot of people will use the aloe vera leaf in their shampoo or other things. When I have time and I'm feeling like experimenting, maybe I'll do that, but I consistently use aloe vera leaf in my pre-poo. Now, the benefits of that is it strengthens your hair and it reduces UV damage. So it kind of acts a little bit like a sunscreen for your hair, which I can appreciate. Let's see. Now, let's move on to the oils. So the contents of my oil most usually are shea butter, castor oil, olive oil, and then the essential oils, peppermint oil and tea tree oil when I have them. Now, shea butter, shea's been around for years and years and years, well, not even more than that, generations. Shea butter is really high in moisture content. It helps to retain the moisture in your hair. It's used a lot in African countries. We've seen shea, people use it on their bodies, we do too. So I melt that in, put it in the oil. The olive oil also has strengthening properties for your hair. Slightly protective properties, but definitely strengthening properties. Funny story, years ago, way before I was on a healthy hair journey, I worked with a lady who was from India, and her hair was beautiful. She was a mature woman. Her hair was probably to the small of her back. I asked her what she used. She said olive oil. And I said, olive oil like in the kitchen? She said, yeah. And she was right. That is the olive oil I use now. Now, I didn't do it then because I looked at her a little wonky. This was probably, I was in my 20s, so this was a long time ago. But had I started then, my hair would probably be way down my back by now, too. So olive oil, I've seen it in action. It works very well. Now, the peppermint oil, it adds strength to your hair. Peppermint and tea tree oil act in the same way. They strengthen the strands. They allow you to retain, some moisture and really just protect your strands. Now, the ends of your hair, that's the oldest part of your hair, so you want to make sure you're really coating those ends and getting in there and doing that thoroughly.
Okay, so here comes the randomness part of this video. Some of you that have been around for a while may know that I am on this minimalist journey, so I very much want to have a capsule wardrobe. I am working towards that. One day I will show it to you. So here's how that works in practicality.
Only me, in the rain, in my only pair of white sneakers. Only pair, minimalism, in the rain.
And now I'm trying a new salon for my lash install, so I wanted to show you the Girlkins lash spot.
Okay, so we are at Glamkins. They are so cute. Look at how cute the shop is. And Ashley doesn't want to be on camera, but she's awesome. I won't do it to her. I just wanted to get in, give you guys those little tidbits. Now, if this is your first time to Coffee and Kale, welcome. If you are a repeat visitor but not yet a subby, you've been back a couple times, come on, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. We're a fun bunch. We do a little bit of vlog, a little bit of lifestyle, mainly natural hair DIY. We're about natural hair length and retention. And yeah, come on back. See you next time.